Your heart is racing. You just read a text message from your boss. It said, "Can we talk tomorrow?" 4 words, nothing more. And now your mind is spiraling through every mistake you've made this year. Nothing happened, no danger, no threat, just 4 words on a screen. But your body doesn't know that. Your palms are sweating. Your chest is tight. Somewhere behind your ribs, an alarm is going off. Here's the strange part. The system running that alarm wasn't built for text messages. It wasn't built for bosses or emails or Sunday night dread. It was built for something else entirely. Something older, something that hasn't existed in your life even once. It was built to keep you from being eaten. For nearly all of human history, you were prey. Not metaphorically, literally. Lions, hyenas, leopards, snakes. Predators saw humans as food, and for over 2 million years, staying alive meant staying alert. Every rustle in the grass, every shadow at the edge of the firelight, every silence that came too suddenly. Your ancestors who noticed those things survived. The ones who didn't get to pass on their genes. So evolution built you a warning system. Fast, automatic, impossible to switch off. A small almond-shaped structure deep in your brain called the amygdala, whose entire job is to scan the world for danger before you're even consciously aware you're scanning. The neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping exactly how this works. He found that a threat signal can reach your amygdala and trigger a full body response in a matter of milliseconds, along a pathway that bypasses your rational thinking brain almost entirely. Your body starts reacting to danger before your conscious mind even knows there's something to react to. That's not a flaw, that's the whole point. Imagine two early humans standing in tall grass. One hears a rustle and thinks that's probably just wind and keeps gathering berries. The other hears the same rustle and is already 3 steps back before conscious thought even arrives. Most of the time, it's wind, but it only has to be a leopard once. The cost of a false alarm is a racing heart for no reason. The cost of missing a real threat is death. So evolution didn't build you a perfectly accurate threat detector, it built you a paranoid one. The psychiatrist Randolph Nesse has a name for this. He calls it the smoke detector principle. A smoke detector that only ever goes off during real fires isn't doing its job well enough, because by the time it catches every fire, it's also missed some. So the best smoke detectors are tuned to go off too often. A little smoke, a hint of burning toast. Better an annoying false alarm than a house that burns down. Your brain runs on the same logic. It would rather make you anxious 1,000 times over nothing than let one real threat slip past unnoticed, which means your anxiety isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. The problem is that the world it was designed for no longer exists. You don't live in tall grass anymore. You live in offices, apartments, group chats, and yet the machinery inside your skull hasn't gotten the memo. Picture your ancestors around a fire 10,000 years ago. If someone in their small band of 30 or 40 people didn't like them, that mattered deeply. Rejection back then wasn't an inconvenience. It could mean losing access to food, protection, or a mate. Being cast out of the group could be a death sentence in a landscape full of predators and scarce resources. So your brain evolved to treat social threat with almost the same urgency as physical threat. A sharp word, a cold silence, a group that stops talking when you walk in. All of it lights up the same ancient alarm circuitry that once fired for lions in the grass. The psychologist and researcher Naomi Eisenberger ran an experiment that made this strange overlap visible. She had people play a simple ball-tossing game inside a brain scanner and secretly arranged for the other players to stop passing them the ball. When people were socially excluded, even in this small, meaningless game, the same brain regions associated with physical pain lit up. Social rejection and physical injury sharing the same wiring. Your brain never separated them. Now think about that text message from your boss again. "Can we talk tomorrow?" To your rational mind, it's an ambiguous, probably harmless request. But to the ancient alarm system running underneath it, ambiguous silence from someone with power over your survival looks exactly like the tension before expulsion from the tribe. Your body reacts the same way it would have reacted to a raid raised spear. You are not weak for feeling this. You are running very old software on very new hardware. There's a name for this mismatch. Evolutionary biologists call it the mismatch theory of modern anxiety. Your genes are still calibrated for a world of small tribes, immediate physical danger, and scarce resources. But you're living inside offices, feeds, notifications, and infinite comparison. The alarm system evolved to protect a hunter-gatherer on the savannah is now going off constantly, in a world with almost none of the dangers it was built for. The biologist Robert Sapolsky studied something related in zebras, of all animals. Zebras face real immediate threats. A lion might chase them for a few terrifying minutes. Then it's over. They either escaped or they didn't. And either way, their stress hormones return to baseline almost immediately. They go back to grazing like nothing happened. Sapolsky's point was blunt. Zebras don't get ulcers. Humans do. Because you don't just react to threats in the moment, you replay them. You anticipate them. You lie awake at 2 a.m. running simulations of arguments that haven't happened yet, conversations that might go badly, mistakes you might make tomorrow. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between an imagined threat and a real one. It fires either way. A zebra being chased by a lion is under stress for minutes. A person worried about a performance review can be under stress for weeks, replaying it every night before it even happens. That's the price of a brain sophisticated enough to imagine the future. You inherited a threat detection system built for immediate physical resolvable danger, and you pointed it at a world full of ambiguous, ongoing, unresolvable ones: job security, social status, money, health. None of it comes with a clear, the danger has passed signal the way outrunning a lion does. So the alarm just stays on. Here's what's strange though. Once you understand where the alarm is coming from, it starts to lose some of its grip on you. That racing heart isn't a sign that something is truly wrong right now. It's an ancient survival mechanism, mistaking your inbox for a leopard in the grass. Your ancestors needed that system to notice danger instantly and act without hesitation. You need something slightly different. You need to notice the alarm and then ask it a question your ancestors never had the luxury of asking. Is this actually a lion, or is this just silence? Most of the time for you, it's just silence, an ambiguous message, an unanswered text, a meeting on the calendar with no explanation, nothing chasing you, nothing hunting you, just an old, brilliant, overprotective system doing exactly the job it was built for, in a world that no longer needs it to work quite so hard. Tonight, when your phone buzzes and your stomach tightens before you've even read the message, remember what's actually happening. You're not in danger. You're not being hunted. You're just carrying a 2 million-year-old alarm system into a world that finally, after all this time, ran out of lions.